Hey traders, this is Christian from Hertz Tribeca Trade Group with your XME Swing Trade video that we recently undertook. So we put this trade on September 7th, and we're looking at the XME January 28 calls. We purchased these, actually legged into these, so my average price is right around $1.70 for these. Again, it's the XME January 28 calls that we got into for $1.70. So first of all, what is the XME ETF? Well, it's a combination of metals and mining names. So, a lot of times we see unusual option activity in names like GDX or some of the underlying miners. But this also has a nice deal or good deal of steel names in it involved, which we've also been seeing a decent amount of unusual option activity or aggressive option activity in the last couple of days. So you could see just the makeup of the ETF. It's 45% iron and steel, 45% mining. Also got a little bit of coal exposure as well in here. If you look at the particular names that are in the ETF, you got CDE. This is a name we've seen unusual option activity in. CNX, which we actually saw some call buying in yesterday. SWC, we've seen a little bit of call buying in that name. Newmont. So up and down the list, we also saw a little bit of call buying in X the other day. So I think it's a good, it kind of fits exactly where I want to get into, and what we're seeing unusual option activity or aggressive option activity in is some of those steel names. Just recently, we haven't seen those for the last couple of weeks in terms of aggressive call buyers, but we're starting to see that, especially with the move down in the dollar. So let's just look at the technicals in the XME ETF. And this was pretty telling. This was back in the beginning of July, where, like I said, we've seen, a very nice call buying, but it kind of mellowed out here a little bit, as well as with the technicals. We hit this 2868 level on the weekly chart. So it's went all the way through the value area, and it paused. It paused right at the top of value at major resistance. However, you look at this trend that it's been in since the beginning of the year, and we kind of moved back a little bit here in May. And it looks like we're doing the same type of move here. So I think we could possibly take out this high, as long as the dollar stays a bit weaker. And as long as we do not see a rate hike in September, I think this trade really has a chance. And notice again, the blue line on my charts is the 20-period exponential moving average. This can act as a trend line, and you can see that this continues to slope up. If you look at the daily chart, kind of the same thing, and more of an immediate level that I see is we're just, we went basically all the way through the value area, the shorter term value area, which is on the daily chart, the monthly, as our move down. But now it looks like we're trying to fire off some buy signals here. So first thing I see is the bottom of value on this daily chart, 2682. That's going to be support right now. We just got into that value area. We did a little bit of back and filling yesterday on Wednesday. Let's see if we can kind of add to it here. So again, 2682 is the level that if we cannot remain above, I may consider the trade, or I may think against this particular trade. But as long as we're above 2682, I think we have a chance to continue with that long-term trend, which is on the weekly chart. And, just to kind of show you a little bit of that activity, we've seen X calls. This was the November 20 calls. We saw STLD calls. These are all names that are in the ETF. And we saw a bunch of, October, February, September, STLD, another steel name, and then we've been seeing, GDX activity left and right here, a lot more calls going up than puts. So 75,000 SEP. We also saw a really nice GLD order. So gold going up, miners going up will really help us out here in this particular trade. October 147 calls. We also saw some NOV, and I'm looking for a longer dated trade, which I can't seem to find right now, but yeah, let's see, some DEES as well. Let's see if I can find this. I believe we also saw a trade going out to next year. Here it is. March 160 calls as well. So, a lot of call buying, a lot of miners buying. Just in the last couple of days, we've seen this pick up. And on the ETF front, I can bring in flows as well. Something I've been noticing as well is just a lot of inflows into the material space as well. You know, about $579 million of inflows over the last week. So really strong. And a lot of this has come as buying on the dip. We saw this last week. We saw this ahead of the jobs number. So thank you for watching today's video. And again, the trade that we got into was the XME January 28 calls for $1.70. Thank you.